7 Facts About a Man with No Friends. Have you ever felt the sting of losing friends or watched people walk away without understanding why? It can leave you feeling confused and alone. But what if there's a deeper reason behind it all? Sometimes, God removes people from our lives not to hurt us, but to protect us, redirect us, or prepare us for something better. These moments of isolation can be painful, but they're often part of His divine plan. In today's video, we'll explore 7 powerful truths about why you may be without friends and how God's purpose is at work, even when it doesn't seem clear. Stay tuned, because this message could change the way you view your journey forever. Fact 1. Isolation is God's way of preparing you. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. Before the final reveal, there's a long process of carving, smoothing, and refining. When God removes people from your life, it's not to punish you, but to prepare you. Isolation is often the place where God does His deepest work. In the Bible, we see countless examples of isolation leading to preparation. One of the most powerful examples is Moses. Before leading the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness tending sheep. It was during this time of solitude that God prepared Moses for the incredible mission ahead. In our own lives, solitude can be a season of character building. It allows us to reflect, listen to God's voice more clearly, and strengthen our faith. The world can be noisy, and friendships, while beautiful, can sometimes drown out God's gentle whispers. When friends are removed, it may be because God is calling you to focus on Him and grow spiritually. So, if you find yourself alone, embrace this season. Ask God, what are you preparing me for? Trust that the isolation is not wasted. It's a time of divine preparation for what's to come. Fact 2. God removes harmful influences. Have you ever had a friend who seemed supportive on the surface, but secretly harbored jealousy, resentment, or negativity? Sometimes, we don't realize the full impact of someone's influence until God removes them from our lives. One powerful example comes from the story of Job. When Job was suffering, his friends came to offer advice. However, instead of comforting him, they criticized and judged him. Their words added to Job's pain rather than alleviating it. Eventually, God rebuked Job's friends and vindicated Job. God sees what we cannot. He knows the hidden motives and true intentions of the people around us. If someone is leading you down a destructive path or holding you back from your purpose, God may remove them for your protection. Though it may hurt in the moment, trust that God's removal is an act of love. Pray for discernment to recognize unhealthy relationships and the strength to let go when God shows you it's time to move on. Fact 3. Loneliness can be a catalyst for spiritual growth. Some of the most profound spiritual growth happens in seasons of solitude. When friends are removed, we're given the space to reflect, heal, and grow closer to God. This is a time when our relationship with Him can deepen in ways that wouldn't be possible amidst distractions. Before Jesus began His ministry, He spent 40 days alone in the wilderness, fasting and praying. It was during this time that He resisted temptation and emerged spiritually stronger, ready to fulfill His mission. In your own life, solitude can be a time of transformation. It's a time to examine your heart, seek God's guidance, and allow Him to heal any wounds or insecurities. Rather than viewing loneliness as a punishment, see it as an invitation to grow in faith and spiritual maturity. Embrace practices like prayer, meditation, and journaling during this time. These spiritual disciplines can help you hear God's voice more clearly and discover new insights about yourself and your purpose. Fact 4. God is redirecting you to your true purpose. Sometimes, friendships end because they're no longer aligned with the direction God is taking you. He may be closing certain doors to open new ones that lead to your true purpose. Think of Abraham. God called him to leave his homeland his family, and everything familiar to follow a new path. It was only by stepping away from old relationships that Abraham could step into God's promises. When relationships end, it's natural to feel a sense of loss. But instead of dwelling on what's been lost, shift your focus to what God may be preparing. Trust that He's leading you to new opportunities and relationships that are better suited for your purpose. Fact 5. You're being strengthened for greater relationships. Loneliness can be a season of preparation for healthier, more meaningful relationships. When we spend time alone, we're given the opportunity to build emotional resilience, self-awareness, and spiritual maturity. David is a prime example of this. Before becoming king, he spent years in solitude, hiding from Saul and facing numerous trials. These experiences shaped David into a strong, compassionate leader who attracted loyal, supportive relationships later in life. Use this time to strengthen your faith and emotional health. Work on becoming the best version of yourself so that when the right relationships come along, you'll be ready to embrace them fully. Fact 6. God wants you to rely on Him first. Sometimes, God removes people from our lives because He wants us to depend on Him fully. Human relationships are valuable, but they can never fill the void that only God's love can fill. Elijah's story is a powerful example. After feeling abandoned and alone, Elijah encountered God's presence in a still, small voice. It was in solitude that Elijah found renewed strength and purpose. Take this time to deepen your relationship with God. Seek His comfort, guidance, and love through prayer and meditation. When you rely on Him first, you'll find a peace that surpasses all understanding. Fact 7. The right people will arrive in God's timing. Loneliness is not a permanent condition. God has a plan for meaningful relationships in your life, but they often come after a season of waiting and preparation. Ruth experienced this firsthand. After losing her husband and facing a season of loneliness, she eventually found Boaz and experienced restoration. God's timing was perfect, and Ruth's faithfulness led to blessings beyond her imagination. Stay hopeful and patient. Trust that God is aligning new connections and friendships that will enrich your life in ways you can't yet imagine. If you find yourself in a season of loneliness or without friends, know that this is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something greater. God removes people from our lives for reasons we may not immediately understand. Whether it's to protect you from harmful influences, help you grow spiritually, or redirect you to your true purpose, every relationship shift has a divine purpose. During this time, lean into your faith. Embrace the quiet moments to reflect, heal, and strengthen your relationship with God. Solitude can be a powerful catalyst for transformation, helping you become the person God is preparing you to be. Remember, God's timing is perfect and new. Meaningful relationships will come into your life when you're ready. Above all, trust the process. God's plan for your life is filled with love, protection, and purpose. While the road may seem lonely now, know that you are never truly alone. God is always by your side, guiding you every step of the way. Hold on to hope, keep your heart open, and trust that God is working behind the scenes for your good. Stay strong, stay faithful, and watch as His plan unfolds in your life.